is your relationship with time? Are you wired and tired, stressed and overwhelmed, busy and going nowhere? Or just want to scale your business? Welcome to Take Back Time with your host, Penny Zenker. Penny focuses on books, strategies, tools, and tips to help you work smarter and approach your time more strategically. As a result, you can have more energy, focus, and get more done in less time. Be more efficient and effective. Get ready to take back time.
Hello, and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zenker, and I'm your host. And on this show, we are helping you. What does take back time mean anyway? It means that we want to help you to work smarter. And so today I have Debbie Allen on board, and she's amazing. She's a certified speaking professional, and she's one of the top professional business speakers in the world. She has a professional speaker. She's been one for over 25 years. She's presented before thousands of people in 28 countries around the world. And so she knows her stuff, right? She speaks for diverse groups of business conferences worldwide and mentors entrepreneurs who want to be positioned as experts in their industry. Debbie's been an entrepreneur and business owner since she was 19. And she's built and sold numerous million-dollar companies in diverse industries. She's also a best-selling author of 9 books, including The Highly Paid Expert and Success is Easy, which we're going to talk a little bit about today, and VIP contributor. And she's a featured business mentor for Entrepreneur Magazine and all of that jazz. Like, she is all that and a bag of chips. So, Debbie, welcome to the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me here, Penny.
So after reading that intro for you, I'm just intrigued. What was your first business at 19?
I joined a family business when I was still going to high school, and I would take the school bus. Instead of going home, I would take it to the family business. My dad started a car rental business, so he was a car salesman for 20-some years, and then he started running the leasing or the rental division, and he went, hey, I could do this, and we started out with 5 rental cars outside of Gary, Indiana, which was the number 1 place in the country for car theft. So, hey, good idea to rent cars when everybody's car is getting stolen.
Yeah.
And then by the age of 19, when I had worked there maybe 6 months or something, I said, I want to buy into the business, because my brother had actually been given part of the business. And so I said, okay, well, I want a percentage of the business. I want to buy into it because then I'm going to act like a business owner. I'm going to be part of this from the beginning. And that was life-changing, to be thought of as an entrepreneur at such a young age. And I think about the stuff I did in my 20s. My dad would just start these businesses and then leave it up to me and my brother to run them. And we didn't want to go out and get JOB, so we have to spell it because that's how terrifying that is to us, the way we think as entrepreneurs. So I've never applied for a job in my life. I've never attended a day of college, went right into that family business and learned from the school of hard knocks.
I hear you. So when you talk about success is easy, you're not talking about it in theory. You're talking about it in practical lessons that you've learned. Is that right?
Most definitely. And it can be taught to anybody, because if you don't have an answer, it's actually success is easier than failure. But people realize that, success is so hard. It's so much work. Yeah, it takes a commitment. If you're doing the right thing, it's not ever considered work. And that's what I've learned. I've always felt if it was hard or if it wasn't fun, then it's not getting easy, and that means I need to reinvent what I'm doing. Sell a business, move on, whatever. If it flows,
something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong, right? Or you can't build relationships from it, or you can't get clients. So when it's lined correctly, it's there. And when you think about it, Penny, success is easier than failure, because success is surrounding us everywhere. Right on the internet right now, they're listening to your show, Take Back Time, and they're learning everywhere. You can just turn on your computer now. You don't have to leave your house.
That's right.
You used to go to the library, and it's surrounding us with YouTube and Google, all the information that's in front of us. Failure, you have to kind of work for failure, I think. I look at things completely different.
Yeah, that's a great statement. I like success is easier than failure, because there's a lot that makes sense in that. I think people should journal that and see what that means to them, right? And how that shows up. So that's a good exercise.
Yeah, most definitely. In fact, that's the first chapter in the book, is what does success mean to you?
Right.
Because I think that people think that they're a failure even when they're a success, because they define their success by what other people think success should be. But if you really define success on your own terms, you can make success easy in just about anything you do. Because it isn't just a number, it's an emotion, it's a feeling, it's
Totally.
giving.
More than anything. I agree. I say that about productivity as well. So, in the beginning, people were like, oh, what are you talking about? I said, productivity it's a feeling. We're not machines. It's not about output. If I feel productive, it goes down to the same thing as success. What you're saying is it goes down to, well, how do I define it? And what is that expectations am I setting and intentions, and how am I going about that? So I believe that's the same thing to me. How would you define productivity?
Oh, well, I'm pretty productive because I'm real strategic. So that's how I get progress happening in my world, is that I always look at every action step that I take is focused towards the goal. And so it's not just like, hey, getting things done. It's a very strategic plan that I have, it really detailed out like at least 6 months in advance. So everything that you're doing during your day has got to fit the end result. So that's productivity in my world, is strategic action.
Love it. Absolutely. We have a lot in common. Every time we talk, I see that there's a lot of similar thought processes and whatnot. So I love that. So in your book, you also talk about getting your ask in gear. What does that have to do with being successful? I mean, getting your ask in gear.
Yeah. So actually it's funny, Penny, because you were on my podcast. I'm on your podcast because we were actually in a group class together, and in the chat box, we were asking, and you know what? Our teacher said, you should be on each other's podcasts, do other things. And then we took action, right? So we got our ask in gear, and we're like making it happen on the side as it's going on. And so that's just one example, but how my book, Success is Easy, became a bestseller, how I got my major publisher, Entrepreneur Magazine, was getting my ask in gear in a session. So I was sitting in a session at the National Speakers Convention, and I raised my hand. Out of 100 people, nobody else raised their hand and said, oh my gosh, it's amazing. How did you get your book in Entrepreneur Magazine? The person that was teaching the class, Jeffrey Hazlett. And how did you sell 500,000 copies? Wow. And I raised my hand and I said, that's my dream publisher. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And I used to look at that magazine and just envision my book back there, even before I had a title, like seeing my name on a book, because they focus on a lot of books in the magazine. And I had no idea that they would look for people and where to get in there. And so after raising my hand, Jeffrey said, I'll connect you to my contact there at Entrepreneur Magazine. And so he did. And within a week, I was on the phone call with them. I didn't even have the book proposal done or anything. I had just kind of come up with a title. And she bought the idea on the phone in a half an hour call. And she said, when can you get the proposal together? Because I'm going to push it to the team and I'm going to push this through. I want this book. I want to work with you. And I was like, whoa, that was easy. If you're going to write a book, this is easy. That journey should be easy, right?
Yeah, totally. When I saw that, get your ask in gear, and it's about asking for what you want and going for it. It reminds me of something that my mom taught me when I was really young, is you don't ask, you don't get. Like,
yes.
You sit back. So many people sit back and don't ask for the things that they want. Don't let people know what they're working on and how they might be able to support them. And that's such a shame, because that's all you need to do is to ask and put it out there, and it will come easy, right? In certain ways, if you're talking to the right people. Hey, I know this person. Like, that was crazy how that just happened like that.
It happened so fast, but most people, the majority of people, small percentage of people are going to feel comfortable asking. There's actually a science to it of asking at the right time in the right way. I didn't ask him. I didn't even have to even ask when I got that referral for Entrepreneur. But, I teach this to my clients, and then they'll ask me a question. Well, how do I get that? I'm like, did you ask? Oh, okay. And so then one of my clients goes, when I think about like having the courage to ask or wondering how to ask strategically, I always think, okay, Debbie's going to say, don't make me come over there and kick you in the ask. And I spell ASK. So she's always that, like this little person on the shoulder going, don't make me come over there and kick you in the ass. And she's like, I go for it. And then I get it. I'm like, that really works. That strategy is amazing. The synergy behind that is that you're supporting other people at the time. You're not just asking. There's another thing in the chapter I talk about is becoming an ask hole, is that you ask and you don't ever implement. So, some people just ask randomly, like, okay, you shouldn't have asked because you didn't pay your dues to ask for that, it wasn't asked correctly, or you ask a bunch of stuff, like you ask a bunch of questions, but you don't implement, right? So that's an asshole. It's somebody that doesn't implement when they're asking very successful people for their advice. So you'll have that reputation. So when you ask and then you implement and then you have success from that, people respect that.
Absolutely. I love that. Don't be an asshole. I like it. I really like it. And it's so funny. So, there's a lot of people today who are saying, well, that's all well and good. You ask for what you want and success comes easy, and defining what success is for you and all of that. But they're like, we're in a pandemic right now and these aren't regular times. So they're stuck. What kind of advice would you give them to see success as easy in a time where they feel like it's really hard?
Right. So if you're stuck, you need help. And you need help getting unstuck as soon as possible. I mean, we're already 6 months into this now or whatever, right? And so some people are listening, this will be beyond it. We don't even know. The uncertainty probably scares most people. How long will this go on? So the thing is that asking when you're stuck. Now, true entrepreneurs know how to pivot. And we've seen this. We've seen companies that have been able to pivot with new direction, innovation, creativity, and they're just like blew their business up. They're doing more, double and triple their business during the pandemic. We've seen that. And then there's others that are they are stuck because they really were like a one-trick pony. They stayed into a box. They kept doing business the same way. And when the pandemic hit, they're like, I don't even have another direction. I don't have another income stream. I don't even know what to do. That's a scary place to be in business. So if that happened to you and you've lost everything through this, pay attention. Yeah, it's scary. And it's probably really terrifying if that's happened to you or you've lost a big chunk of income. But let me tell you, this is a wake-up call for you if you're stuck to pay attention, because you should not be running your business where you only have one way of doing it. If the world shuts down around you, you can't move and pivot. I pivoted like within 2 days. I was on building relationships with people that I had set up to be at their live events. When those got canceled, I'm like, well, I can't be there, but let's do an online event. Let's do something. And I had 6 live events, virtual events booked within the first week. Like I just pivoted, like not that I had done that before. I just was like reaching out. And then I was reaching out to joint venture partners and opportunities and making things happen, kicked up my podcast, doing more podcasts, creating an online course. I mean, I've been twice as busy during this time because it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back because you're trying to figure it out. But I have stayed in momentum. And I think that's, the thing is if you don't know the momentum, if you don't know the next steps, then get help. Find a mentor, find a coach. They're all over the internet. We're all online right now. It's really easy to find us.
Distractions are the enemy of productivity. Go to distractionquiz.com and find out your distraction profile. Are you a time zombie or a hamster? Take this free distraction quiz today to rate your ability to focus on what keeps you from being a wizard. Go to distractionquiz.com.
You said it. You took action, you took action, you took action, right? And I think that's the key is if you stay in action, you can't be stuck. Stuck happens. It's like that game Hot or Colder, right? That little kids play and something's hidden in the room, right? Your business opportunities are hidden everywhere. And it's the hot or colder game. And unless you continue to move forward in one direction, you're not going to get any feedback, right? If you just stand there, what happens? Nothing, right? So you want to continue to move forward like you were. You took action. And then if something didn't pan out or wasn't going to bring you in the direction you want, what did you do? You took action in another direction, right? Or that was the feedback that you got, whether it was hot or colder. So I think that from what I'm hearing, and that's my sort of thing to fall back on as well, is just to continue to move forward. And sometimes it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and then you get to pivot and take a look at if that direction wasn't right, what's next. So I think that's really
and understanding, you're not an island by yourself. There's a lot of people that you can ask, if you're not in a position. And a lot of people say, well, I can't hire a coach. I can't hire a consultant now. You can hire them for an online course. You can learn, you can absorb yourself in learning whatever you need to do right now. But the thing is that, sitting there just waiting for things to turn around, it's just not going to happen. And then it's not preparing you to get ready for the next time it happens, because it will. Whether it's a pandemic, it's a 2008 economic crash, the presidential election coming up. I mean,
right. Who knows what's going to happen there?
I mean, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So, we just need to prepare ourselves for every direction. And as an entrepreneur, what I learned is, you're never an island by yourself. I started out with a family business but when I left the business, I had no idea. Like, I wanted out. Like, we had also built a mini storage business. Then we sold $1 million business before I was 30. I had the opportunity to get out then, but I didn't know my next thing. So it's like looking for the opportunities. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, or when you're looking for an opportunity will appear. Just like you're looking for that red sports car, you wanted to buy that red sports car and you didn't see many on the road. Now that you want one, they're everywhere. And so they are. Same thing with opportunity. If you're looking for it, you're focused on it every day. I got to find that. I got to find that support. I got to find that answer. I got to get creative. I'm going to make money. I call another thing I teach is quick cash formula. Where's money sitting around in your business where you can go get that quick cash? Because when you get quick cash coming in, you don't freak out anymore. Okay, so there's some money, gives me a little bit of cush.
Right.
How did I do that? Maybe I can create some more of that.
Right. That's funny. I do that too, right? Where are the quick wins? Where's the low-hanging fruit? And because I think that the reason we both think that is because that keeps you in action. Like you said, it helps you to calm down because you've got some resources that you can then invest in other directions, and it just keeps you in motion. So that's awesome. I love it. One of the things that I also always ask people is, everybody's out there looking for a shortcut, right? We all have that one thing that we turn to, that we do, that helps us to cut through it. What's your shortcut?
Productivity shortcut is, okay, I want to achieve this goal. So if I'm really clear on the goal, I have to have like a vision, whether you draw it out or it's in your head. Like, I know what that looks like. I'm very good at visioning and creating things. So I can say, I want this. Here's the key is you don't have to know the how. A lot of people get stuck on the how. The how will appear once you start taking action through the productivity, as you mentioned, Penny. And it's like, and so I would just focus on that every day. That's my shortcut, but because that vision and direction will get there. You just keep plowing through and opportunities will show up and the how will show up and the right people will show up to support you. I mean, you have to be surrounded with really empowered people. And then when you're around empowered people, successful people, like-minded people that think positive, things speed up automatically. I have never known the how on anything, Penny. So it was just getting in momentum and then figuring out along the way. So I think that's the fast track, is just allowing it to come to you when you're taking action.
Having that vision, that clarity. Is there a tip that you suggest for people that don't have that clarity? Like, they are a little bit stuck and they're not really sure what it is that they're envisioning as their next step. Or maybe they're not stuck, but they're like brought their business to one level and they want to take it to the next level, but they're not sure what that is in its context. How you have something to step they can take?
Yeah, it's a question I ask everybody before I ever start working with them. Where do you see yourself and your business 1 year from now? So now we take it deeper and we go, where do you see it? What does it look like? How does it feel? Where are you working? Who are your most ideal clients? How are they finding you? And how are you working your business? Because I had to actually envision that, because I was on a world tour for about 3.5 years traveling. And it was, my vision was like, today I'm in Singapore, tomorrow I'm in India. It was like, go, go, go. It was crazy. It was
careful
amazing.
What you wish for, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. I wanted that, right? It was bigger than I imagined. And so then when I had to reinvent again, I'm like, what would that look like if I created a business lifestyle and just had my business, what I wanted to do every single day, work more in my home, because I got so burned out on travel. Right. So I actually drew this house that I'm in right now. I'm in my conference room right now, where I hold my VIP days and I have small group trainings in here. But I wrote the vision of what the house would look like. And it would have a small conference room and it would have a guest house where people could come and stay when they're working with me. And it had a courtyard with a fountain. And I mean, I just drew it all out. And I wasn't even really looking to buy the house then or find the house. And then I stuck the paper away. And then a year later, I pulled it out and I went, oh my gosh, look at this. It's every single thing on this list. This is exactly what I had visioned as a business lifestyle. And I switched it completely from traveling internationally to having people come to me, and I don't even have to go to the airport, right? And so that's a perfect thing right now. We're talking about it in the pandemic, because I actually created this after the 2008 economic crash, because I never wanted that to have to happen to me again, where I had to be an event, I had to travel, I had to count on other people like that. I wanted to do a business the way I wanted to do it. And Even when my VIP clients couldn't fly out here during the pandemic, when they had the days booked, I started selling virtual VIP days, and I had never sold those before. I have another event that I only did live once a year, and it's like this month I'm going to take it, my Speaker Sales Mastery. It's I could only put 20 people in a room, and I'd only do it once a year. And now I'm like, oh, well, hey, I'm going to take that online. Now I'm going to take it online so more people can learn how to speak and sell online. So it's just rethinking how am I doing it? And then it's all, like you said, I teach positioning. So it's how you position your business to still get those clients, but do it in a different way where it's easier.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned earlier, you and I met in a program, right? Where we were there learning some strategies. And I think that is so key that people put themselves constantly in learning situations, right? It's an investment in themselves, in their business. And so many, I know for me, and I think you were alluding to this as well, is that there's so many ahas when you're in that energy and that environment, is that it helps you to get that clarity. So I believe firmly that we have to put ourselves in those learning opportunities so that we can help to create that clarity that we're looking for if we don't have it.
Right. And also investing in those learning opportunities, because you can't just be general. I think that when you go and say, well, I can learn, I can be on all these free classes, but you got to go deep. You got to go deep into the training that you want right now that's going to get you the results that you're going to need that fits into your goal. And so I was looking for those, like, hey, you have a little more space, fill up the space with time to learn something new, a skill that you can take for the rest of your life. And then, Penny, you were doing the same thing. You're going, hey, here's a skill. I'm put that in my bag of tricks. I got time to do this right now. If I was super busy, I probably wouldn't have signed up for that class because I wouldn't have had to be able to be on a call for 8 weeks, in a row, like a certain time. I just like, oh my God, I don't have time for that. So two big excuses people have, and you know it, time and money, right? And so if it's important to you and you see the results on the other end, it's great. But the thing about investing is huge, because when you took the investment, we both put down a good chunk of money, and then we're like, hey, you're going to show up, you're going to make it happen. If it was free or if it was less money, we might not have shown up as much, and people need to invest. When I learned to
skin in the game, right? I just want to interrupt there. It's skin in the game. Why did you buy a percentage of your family business, right? You wanted a percentage, and to be an owner, that gave you skin in the game. It ups your motivation and ups your accountability to follow through with what you set out for.
Oh, that's number one. So I never invested in a program where I didn't get a payoff because I put skin in the game. I think I want these results from this program, but maybe I met Penny. Because I met Penny, she gave me another opportunity and referred me for a keynote. And then that was 4 times as much money as what I invested. I know it happens because it happens to me all the time. So when I started doing this years ago, I went to an event and I invested $20,000 just for seminars. And even the guy that was putting it on, he's like, oh, I'm surprised you're investing. I'm honored that you're coming, you're investing. I only went to like 3 or 4 of those events. That's all I needed, because I got the clients coming to me. I got my mindset shift. And the mindset shift was, number one, if I invest $20,000, then I can ask somebody to invest $20,000 with me. So if you haven't invested big into programs, how are you going to ask people to invest with you?
That's a huge point. So say that again so everybody hears that, because that's really, really true.
If you don't invest in somebody else's program, service, or whatever it is, how are they going to invest with you? If you don't believe in investing with somebody else, then you see the value of what people are offering. You get bigger value. There's a comparison thing. Plus, there's a psychological thing that, hey, if I could invest in that, how can I ask somebody to invest $10,000, $20,000 or more with me if I've never invested myself in learning or whatever the product or service is? It would be very hard. Then you've got the money mindset thing. You got an issue around asking for money. And that's one of the things I teach about educating to sell. You have to invest to get it back.
Absolutely. And one of the things that just came to me as well is, if you think about it, you're seeing the people who invest in that program. You're seeing the other people who invest in those types of programs. So you get more clear on your target market and what some of their preferences and desires and challenges are, so that you can also talk to them directly, right? Because if you're going into a new market and you're not used to working with those people, you don't know enough about them too, right? So being one of those people is the money aspect. It's the skin in the game to create your own results. And it's then really, like you said, they might be some of your clients. Like I've done the same thing. I walk away, and not only did I get results from the program, but I got a couple of clients from the program, or like you said, a business partner or a referral of some sort. And so there's a lot more than just the money that's going into investing in the program.
Yeah, and I know why we connected. Even there was some synergy happening in a chat box, like not even meeting before, Penny, because I went, hey, I like this chick. She's smart and she's an action taker. Two things I must have in my business relationship partners, right? So you're in there like a little action taker. We're like making things happen. You're smart. You paid attention. Let's make it happen now. We're not messing around. I'm like, yes, because when I am trying to bring either a client or a new prospect, I have a prospect that was supposed to come into this new business opportunity with me, and they're dragging their feet and they're not responsive. They're not responding to my emails. They're not responding to my text message. And I just made the decision this morning, I got to bounce them. I got to get them out of my space and make space for the right person to be in there. They're just showing me they're not the right person to take this opportunity, and I'd rather give it to somebody else. And I'd rather not do business with somebody like that because, hey, when it comes down to it, are they going to show up? And I'm going to put this person on my stage. This is one of the people another opportunity. There's two opportunities that are laying there. I'm like, how do I deal with this? I'm going to have to bounce them on the second opportunity, which is them speaking on my stage this fall, because I don't want to work with them. Because if they're not responsive and productive, why would I put them in front of my audience and let my audience invest with them when I don't think they're going to follow up with them? So I need to cut my losses now and walk away. This morning, I was just going through my mind of how I'm going to do that, especially when you have somebody that's unresponsive. They just show that they're not good people to work with. And so pay attention to your follow-up and your productivity. What Penny teaches is huge when it comes to relationships as well.
Absolutely. So I think it's a really important point that you're bringing up. In making success easy is work with people that gel with you, right? So those relationships are important, that they have the same values and principles that you have, and that makes success easy, right? As opposed to working with people where it's like pulling teeth, like, I don't want to work with this person. So for sure. So Debbie, is there anything else before we're going to have to shut down? Because I know people after 30 minutes, their eyes start to glaze over and roll back in their heads there. So is there anything else before we shut down that you want to share? And of course, I want you to share any links that you have so that people can connect with you directly.
Well, they want to connect with me directly. They just go to debbieallen.com, DebbieAllen.com. You'll see everything I do with my mentoring programs, my events, all of that. And then I'm going to give you a link for a big valuable gift. It's called Client Attraction Success with Ease, clientattractionsuccesswithease.com. And on there, you're going to get a 30-page action guide, because this just fits perfectly in what you're doing with productivity, action guide with marketing steps that I provide you. And then also a webinar to help you with that client attraction too, which we all want right now. It's more clients, more money. So those are two great gifts for you.
That's huge. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So thanks, Debbie, for being here. These were great nuggets, great conversation. Love chatting with you.
Same here, Penny. You have an awesome day. Keep being productive, right?
That's right. That's to you guys. So don't forget, you're listening to Take Back Time. I'm Penny Zenker, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening. Today's topic is another opportunity for you to put the knowledge you learned into practice. Tune in again next week for more strategies that will help you have more energy and focus to get more done in less time, so you can continue to take back time.